you're a publisher and Amazon comes knocking and says, hey, do you want to give us all your content and we'll license it to AI companies?
Unfortunately, they're
stuff
still
like
Amazon.
That?
Like they have the reach.
Yeah.
The reason why they got away with that in the first place is because they have the authority in the market to be able to do that kind of thing.
Start it up. Let's get it rolling. Big ideas, money folding. Hustle smart, dream so wide. Turn that grind into a joyride.
All right, so this is episode 39.
39. I'm feeling fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm calling this one, Amazon wants to be the middleman of AI.
Oh, great.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it because of, well, actually, no, you just tell me.
All right. So AI companies need to train their models, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you remember that there was a big fight. I forget I think it was it OpenAI or was it Anthropic or was it all of them or something like that? Where
on the shopping thing?
They took all the books and they
Anthropic. Anthropic stole the books.
Yeah. They like torrented the books or something like that.
Like a terrible idea.
Yeah. And they just trained their model on like a whole bunch of torrented books.
Pretty bad idea.
Which, anyways.
Classic Silicon Valley. Hey, it's illegal, but fuck it.
But we can do it.
But don't they know that we're disrupting the world? Like, okay, cool.
So anyways, obviously the days of being able to do that are pretty much over. Like people are aware of what AI companies are doing. You can't.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. So Amazon's sitting there and Amazon is like the king of being the ultimate middleman. Right? Like they don't actually make the product. They don't actually use the product. They're just the guy that the marketplace.
They're good at marketplaces.
Yeah. So what they want to be is the middleman of content for training AI models.
Okay. Yeah. Isn't Microsoft trying to do this too? I think there's competition in this.
Actually, I think Microsoft did it first.
Oh.
so anyways, so I'll just give you a little bit of table setting, some background on this, and then you can start ripping. So Amazon is developing an AWS-powered marketplace where publishers can license their content directly to AI companies for training, data, and AI-generated answers. Okay.
So they're doing this with like book publishers, I assume, but like what other kinds of organizations are we talking about?
Yeah, it's like like New York Times. Okay,
cool.
It's like organizations
they're suing them too, right? They're suing Anthropic.
That make content. So yeah, Microsoft did beat them to the punch on this. They launched their publisher content marketplace, PCM, a few weeks ago, and they had like partners like the Associated Press, Condé Nast, Hearst, Vox Media. Yahoo actually was their first customer.
Yahoo!
I didn't even know Yahoo had an LLM, to be honest.
I didn't even know Yahoo did anything anymore.
I didn't know Yahoo still existed.
Can I get Yahoo Mail still? At yahoo.com?
You have to go tell somebody, hey, what's your email address? Yeah, it's like Chris at Yahoo.
At Yahoo, man. Yeah. Actually, I'd love that. That would throw people off if you're in the entrepreneur community. Yeah, it's at yahoo.com. What? Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, obviously the AI industry's content problem is real. Lawsuits piling up, authors, publishers. Do you know any good authors or publishers?
Not me. Nah, none.
Wonder if our book is like in AI models.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely. So? Oh, yeah. Definitely it's going to be in there.
Wow.
For sure.
So AI is telling people stuff that learned from our book.
You know what? Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yes.
I read this interesting thing. Actually, I might have sent it to you yesterday. Remember? I think I sent it to you. But it was so this guy, I can't, I don't, the things you see on the internet, this dude did this thing where he was trying to convince an LLM about some facts about himself that he was then fabricating. So making up facts.
Oh, was this the hot dog guy?
Yeah, the hot dog guy. So he made up this thing where he was like a world champion hot dog eater. But the way, and he wanted to convince the LLM and then have the LLM like tell other people this information.
That he was the
hot dog champion. And the way he did this was he made a bunch of blog posts about him as a hot dog champion, interspliced or interspersed with other facts about him that were actually real.
Okay.
And so he wrote this, he did this a bunch of times, and it actually worked.
No way.
You would go to the LLM, it took about a day to propagate.
Yeah.
But like a day later, you would go on and be like, well, tell me about this guy himself. And it'd be like, he's this, and this, world hot dog champion, this. And then other people started doing it too.
Yeah.
And because you can just like, they just start working in these like quote unquote facts about themselves. So now you're just like, how as a developer do you get around that? Like, you know what I mean? Okay, sometimes people are going to be pieces of shit. All right, how do you like pick that up?
So this explains your blog post about why you have the world's biggest hog.
Wow.
Even Graham laughed at that bit. Yeah.
Hey, you're not one for that kind of humor. That was really good. Holy shit.
I went right to the toilet on that one, but whatever.
There's no way he's going to say that. And you actually said it. I was like, oh, man, sweet.
I'm just trying to keep up with you, man.
Yeah,
like,
hey, I think that definitely I'm rubbing off on you if you're doing that kind of shit.
How do I get lower than Dave's low bar?
Yeah, like you just you dunked that, man. There's no question. All right, so yeah, biggest hog, but let's keep going.
All right, so anyways, so the publishers are no fools, so they want usage-based pricing, price per usage by AI systems, rather than just like a flat licensing fee.
Yeah, of course.
So
that's definitely the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
They own the content,
right? Exactly. So apparently, Amazon's already paying the New York Times over 20 million a year for AI content licensing, and they have 200 plus media outlets feeding content into Alexa Plus.
Holy shit! So, there's something I've never used.
Yeah.
What is Alexa Plus?
Yeah.
I know what Alexa is, but Plus? What does the Plus do?
So, do you know when you Google something now, you get the AI generated search summary?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Apparently
Which sucks, by the way.
Yeah, well, apparently it's having a devastating impact on publishers' web traffic.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Dude, who scrolls?
Links?
Who scrolls now?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, remember how like SEO, it was like, you got to get on the first page. Then it was like, you got to be the top 5.
Yep.
Then you got to be like, well, you can pay to be 1, but nobody looks at those. And then there's, the top 3. And now it's like, you're not even there. Like, there's no point to doing this.
Yeah. Well, so there are startups that are independent trying to do this sort of content marketplace play.
Okay.
There's
Really?
Amlet, Cashmere.io, and Created by Humans are kind of like the bigger ones.
Created by Humans. That is a cool name.
Yeah, that's a good name.
Cool.
So anyway, it's not just big tech doing it, but obviously there's some big stuff. I still don't understand why, like, the publishing industry, the news industry don't just do this themselves. Why do they? Because they're going to get held up hostage by an Amazon or a Microsoft or whatever.
Yeah.
Why don't they just say, nah, we ain't playing. We doing it ourselves.
We're playing.
I don't know. I shouldn't say it like that, but
okay.
I'm way too lame to talk like that. But anyways, that blows my mind that they can't figure out a way to do this themselves. And they're going to like give all this content to a marketplace that is going to hold them hostage at some point. It'll be the one player that they have to deal with. Maybe they won't have any leverage and they won't be able to do it.
Hold up there, hot dog. It could be that they are doing this in the short term, longer term, building something. That's what I would do. Because like, look, you're looking at $20 million that you didn't have.
Yeah, but by the time that like an Amazon content marketplace is spun up and everybody's using it, it's really tough to pull your stuff out of it.
Platform.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like that's
maybe.
the whole
I don't know.
point.
The nature of this strikes me as if you're the New York Times, your content is uniquely valuable, and you could, or Washington Post or whatever, like you could definitely run your own, I don't know, kind of service. Hey, effectively like put the money here and then you get our feed. And by the way, we're watching to see if you're using it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they could have the authority, but for smaller organizations, they will definitely be held hostage by these platforms.
This is really
tough. This is what happens.
Economies of scale, network effect.
This concept of marketplace risk is so real. Like all
right. So
anyway,
that's the publisher side of it. Like from an Amazon perspective.
Cool. This is a cool idea.
Is this brilliant? Like, this might be a brilliant idea.
I don't know if it's brilliant. I mean, it's a good idea. It's something that needs to happen because it's the Wild West, right? So I think when you see unregulated spaces as an entrepreneur or intrapreneur for some of these companies, like they're going to be, those are the places where you can see a lot of growth potential.
Yeah.
People, we said this in the last episode, like people want like certainty and like reliability and consistency and those sorts of things. And I feel like if you can provide that to a market that is otherwise kind of all over the place and rife with litigation, this is a good opportunity for growth for these companies.
Yeah. Do you guys, actually, this whole situation kind of reminds me of, do you remember when we were doing ebook stuff back in the day?
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, we were kind of in the book industry on the.
It was like pre-App Armor, basically.
Yeah, there was a lot of like universities would make these like course pack things where they would take a little bit of content from a bunch of different books, combine them, print them
academic,
out, whatever.
Like papers.
There was an organization that was like the clearinghouse to pay the royalties on it, called Access Copyright.
Yeah. Oh, right. Wow.
What always blew my mind about that was Access Copyright didn't have the material. Like they didn't have a big database of it that you went to get it.
They were just legal.
Right? Like you had to have a copy of the book or whatever.
They were just legal then.
Yeah. And then you would just sort of like self-disclose that, hey, we use this many pages out of this book or whatever. But they didn't have the content.
Did they pursue people who didn't self-disclose? Like if you try to print something?
Yeah, I guess so. They would go after like copy shops.
So they're just like their business was law.
But with this whole thing, so does Amazon actually hold the content? Or do they just like, well, you're going to go to the New York Times' website, scrape it.
So
you're then going to self-disclose to Amazon
certainly,
that you took it and you pay them?
They're certainly aggregators. I don't think they're going to hold any content.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think
I feel like this is actually brilliant. Like you're just a payment mechanism and you're just you're like through a contract requiring the AI companies to self-disclose on what content they took and when and how much and pay.
You just get paid.
Yeah. So like actually it's brilliant. I don't even think they have to set up really any infrastructure. I don't think there's going to be like a data center for this other than like a billing machine to deal with billing. But
well, I mean, like I think for big companies like that, they're going to leverage the relationships they have with these big news organizations and big producers of content. And that's going to be challenging for startups in this space to rival. Yeah. The only way the startups are going to have an opportunity to dislodge that initial like introduction that these big companies are going to have is through like a pricing strategy that's extremely competitive.
Right.
Like I don't see a great way. It would be tough. It would be really, really tough to enter that market as a small player.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much content is actually owned by so few.
Yeah.
Like if we talked about this also in the last episode, like when Disney had that whole fallout over Jimmy Kimmel, like you realize how big the Disney empire is, how much news and all this other stuff is owned by them. It's like, well, if we just get Disney and like, so if you're Amazon, you'd have Bezos make a call to whomever it is at Disney. And like, that's like, they can do that. You know what I mean? Whereas if you're a startup, what are you doing to get in the door of that deal?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's wild. I think it is a bit ironic that this is Amazon. You remember when iTunes first came out and they were selling music for 99 cents a track and it was kind of disruptive. And then Amazon came out with Kindle and they wanted to set a fixed price for books. I think it was like $9.99 for a book on a Kindle. And they were basically like forcing that to the publishers. Okay. They weren't like letting the publishers set the price. They were saying, no, this is the price of a book on Kindle.
Piss off your customers.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's kind of like, so if you're a publisher and Amazon comes knocking and says, hey, do you want to give us all your content and we'll license it to AI companies?
Unfortunately, they're still like Amazon. Like they have the reach.
Yeah.
Like the reason why they got away with that in the first place is because they have the authority in the market to be able to do that kind of thing. Or at least they think they do.
So if you're a publisher, you're sitting there thinking like, oh, great. Amazon is going to help us.
I mean, like, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? Like, I think they know it's going to be a problem.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know if I was a publisher, I think I would be looking at, well, I'm going to put it into different content marketplaces and then I'm going to force Amazon to kind of compete with a Microsoft.
Yeah. Well, I think whatever. I definitely, if I'm the publishers, I work with multiple entities. Yeah, I definitely don't concentrate in one.
I think if I'm Amazon, I'm like, I want exclusive. You want to be in ours? It's got to be exclusive. We're the only one that has.
I would just be like, no. I would go to Microsoft because you know what, they're big too. So
actually, but I think that's good. So as long I think as there is some competition in this content marketplace, maybe that gives us a hope of it not being.
Because I feel like eventually somehow who's going to get hosed by all this will be the consumer because this content is being used to educate those AI models. So then the AI models will have, let's say if there's only one marketplace, they'll have higher costs to educate each model. And then when, like, you know how like tokens are more expensive than what consumers actually pay for them right now? Like tokens are much more expensive, but it's all being subsidized through all the venture capital.
Right.
Like once that ends, like there will be a day when, assuming the computing power and everything else isn't optimized and that like enough, there's a possibility that we all start paying a lot more for AI stuff in the future. And if the marketplace to educate these tools is another component of that where it's monopolized, then we will also pay more as consumers. Eventually, we're going to eat this.
So from a publisher's perspective, like obviously they've been getting crushed right now. They're not getting anything for their content being scraped and put into these AI models. That sort of stuff.
Like litigation victories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So is this a win for them?
Yeah, definitely. No, I think so. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, again, like you want consistency. A regulated market makes sense. It's the Wild West right now. It's like, think of how, and this will date us as well, but like, think about like Napster and how it kind of feels like Napster. Okay.
Yeah.
So all the like people are getting the music for free. They're, sharing it, like torrenting it.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's like, okay, well, we got to get a hold of this. So how do we get a hold of it? Well, we provide the music at, a reasonable price or some other method, or putting it out there, making it more accessible.
Yeah.
But it led to basically killing, aside from the litigation that killed Napster and everything. But like, I think it's a good thing to have for these big companies to have these regulated markets.
So. Yeah. So for startup founders, there are these companies like the Amlet and the Cashmere.io, and
I think they're in big trouble.
Yeah. Is this an opportunity for them, or are they just going to get crushed?
But I don't know their value prop. They might have. So when you have big market incumbents like this, or market players, they're going to have more reach than you. They're going to have more connections than you. You might have some because of your investors or whatever strategy there. But I would think that this would be their opportunity to get more niche, to find the harder to find. Maybe they're like only about academic journals, or maybe they're only about.
Isn't that public anyways? Because like most academic,
I don't know.
stuff.
No, I know. Like you have to, like if you go on like Google Scholar and stuff like that, sometimes you have to pay for particular.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
So
that.
like I think there's contexts where, or like hyper specialized. Like we do all of the research on nuclear physics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's opportunities where and then you pay really, really well for that data, or for that information. And you charge a lot on the other end, but it's like you're the exclusive provider of that data. Like it might be harder for the Amazons or whatever, or the Microsofts to get into those like nooks and crannies, even though they'll capture like 60% of the market. You know what I mean? Just between the two of them.
Yeah.
That would be my hot take for those companies.
Okay. So,
but I don't know anything about this market other than what I just said.
Yeah. So some takeaways.
I'm now out of info.
Yeah. So some takeaways for listeners who are, like starting up, founders who are starting up businesses, especially with some sort of an AI piece to it. What are your tips for them, do you think?
What do you mean, like in general?
Well, like, so here's what I'm thinking is all of a sudden you could scrape data, sort of.
You mean to build a model?
Yeah. But now you're probably going to have to pay for it. Like you're going to be having to license content to train your model.
That's interesting. Do you think there's going to be more or fewer AI companies as a result, like people building their own models?
Because of the cost
I would suggest that you'd have a lot
higher.
of big companies with more, and like more consistency in the way the models are trained. There's probably less innovation. Actually, I didn't even really think about this, but because all the models will be pretty similar if they're all being trained off of these same data repositories that exist in Amazon and Microsoft. So that's fascinating. Maybe
how do you differentiate?
So I think this is maybe where we're coming back to those startups. This is like where the niche part is really, really important. If they offer a really unique data set, something that like that will differentiate these AI tools that are being built by either other startups or internally at companies, that's your play. How can we provide something different from the big guys? That's interesting.
Yeah. Would you start up a company doing like a content marketplace at this point, or would this be too scary?
I mean, like this market incumbents and everything. I don't also like, I'm just not the right guy for that. Like, is it worth doing? Yes. Is it doable? Yes. By me? No.
Yeah.
I've not like, I'm a little skeptical on worth just because there's a lot of market incumbents.
Yeah. Yeah. So
also I think like companies like that, they started 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they've been working at this for a while.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to figure out the best way to do this. And probably Amazon and Microsoft like have been thinking about it for a while too.
Yeah.
And then now we're all just going to market. We're all hearing about it going, oh, that's an interesting idea.
So,
but it's been going on for a while. It's not like they started in their garage like 2 weeks ago or something.
Right. Yeah. I don't think this is a garage level startup. This is something that you're going to have a ton of money.
What is a garage level startup?
I don't know. You build it in your garage.
Building furniture?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Anyway. But so for everyone else, I guess the question is, who's going to win this content marketplace?
The big
battle?
guys. The big guys.
Yeah, but I think like which big guy? Okay.
Oh.
And I think if I think of the attributes of the company that's going to win, it's going to be the one that's perceived as like the most trusted by the publishers.
Microsoft.
Right.
Microsoft would strike me as the winner.
And it may not be just the brand. It might be the terms, right?
It's not just that. Like, consider too that Microsoft has like pretty deep ties with OpenAI historically.
For sure.
And like there's other relationships there that I think are going to be valuable and important in this.
Yeah.
But
Microsoft's going to be able to deliver like revenue right away. They're going to say, look, we
know, let's call Sam.
Yeah.
I do think they have an advantage. I also, look, I gotta be honest, playing with Amazon, it's a terribly annotated, like the Amazon Marketplace stuff is a total gong show.
Hopefully they start from
Holy
scratch.
fuck. They really, really need to start from scratch. And so that would be another interesting piece there is actually like how, like we haven't even talked about like how easy is it to use, so to speak, and to like do all this. And I think that'll be hugely important.
There's probably some lines of code still in Amazon's like code base that like Bezos wrote himself.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Did he write code? I have no idea.
I have no idea. I don't know.
Did he write code? I don't know.
Or he at least put comments in there, but I don't know.
Maybe.
No idea.
No idea.
Yeah, no idea.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week, folks. Hey.
Start it up. Let's get it rolling. Big ideas, money folding. Hustle smart, dream so wild. Turn that grind into a joyride.